Okay, we're back. It's actually the same evening as my last video. So I went to the thing, had lots of arguments, and the person that I was going to go see, just to find out how weird they weren't even there, so that was a bit of a shame. In fact, most people didn't turn up, which I thought was a bit surprising. It's like one of those meetups where they say, if you don't turn up, you're automatically banned or something, and you're like, well, that's pretty serious, and you always think it's a little bit like over the top. It's like, oh, just, chill out. But then, even then, most people don't turn up. So, which is not actually how I find a lot of meetups. Most people do turn up to meetups, so maybe saying that isn't the best thing to do. It's just tempting fate. But anyway, we're going to be doing, after that long introduction, Disney Princess, it's kind of stretching it, Moana. I think it's Moana. I'm assuming it is. I don't know about the live action version of this, if it's really that necessary, but at least not right now. Maybe they could wait a bit, but who knows? It could be quite cool. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to do the thing that I said I was going to do last time at the very end, maybe. So let's open it up. Oh wait, this is my second Moana one that I've done. I did that one before with Maui in it as well. So let's go. There is her head. Which is an important thing to have, but it's on back to front. That's not a good start to the day, and that's actually pretty cool. So you do get this little pig. This made me nervous because I don't remember the pig in the movie. So I'm like, is it actually Moana? But they're cute. They feel like they're from another movie, but I'm sure they were. I wanted to get it. There was a hey in the last one, so that's fine. I think I can't even remember if for the last video did I mention the exciting thing that I should mention, because this is also a documentation of my life in a way. I went to give plasma because I give blood. I give blood I try to give blood a couple of times a year, although I missed for 10 years of not giving blood, but now I'm back to doing it. And they were like, you should give plasma. And I was like, okay, you can do that every month, once a month, instead of like once every so often. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I said, all right, I'll come back in a little bit, and I did come back, and I went to give and said I want to give plasma, and they were like, cool. And so they give plasma, you have to do this machine thing where they take your blood out, and then the machine spins around a centrifuge, and it separates the plasma from the rest of the blood, and then they return the rest of the blood to you, and they just keep the plasma. And apparently they're going to take a fair bit. I was like, that's an awful lot of plasma to take. I didn't think I feel like I'm going to be substantially smaller after this. So that one just goes on like this. It's a very interesting. I don't think I've ever had a tree like that. A tree like that. That feels like a Disney song. And so they took my blood pressure. It was a little bit low, but that's okay. Just enough to pass the test. And I sat down at the machine, and they took out my blood, which was all fine, just like usual. Never have a problem doing that. Never had a problem doing anything. It's all good. I'm that kind of person who doesn't have problems doing anything. And then, dun, 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 they meant to put the blood back in, which is good. The red bits, not the plasma bits. And that should have gone fine, except my body didn't like that, and I reacted badly. And it's in a way that's really hard to explain, but it just wasn't good. So they stopped the machine when I basically received very little of the blood back again, and took everything out, and that was game over. And that was the end of it, and I had to sort of like tilt back and have a bit of a recovery, and that was fine. I recovered fine. But they took out my blood, and now I don't have it back. And it's like, well, I just gave blood a month and a half ago, and now so that's the second blood. That's essentially like giving blood twice in less than 2 months. And so I was a bit saddened by the whole thing, because I wanted that back. I didn't come in here today intending to not have those hemoglobins. And so on, my white blood cells and my red blood cells back. I want them back. But I never got them back, and they got wasted, and they probably got thrown in the bin or something, or I don't know, or they drank, made tea with it or something, because they all seemed very keen on getting blood there. So they're secretly vampires is the joke, but it's not a very good joke, so don't worry. And yeah, so that was that. And then they said, make sure you be careful going home, catch it. And then they realised I was running a cycle home, and I was like, I'm gonna go catch the train. Don't you worry about me. I am not gonna be silly. I put the Dolphin in. No, the Dolphin's right home. And I didn't, of course, because why would I? I just cycled all the way home, which is a fair distance. And in fact, I didn't cycle all the way home. I cycled longer than that because I went shopping, because why also wouldn't you? And that was a true story. But I thought I should mention that. So it was an exciting day, and it was all like, and I recovered fine. So, but what I know is that my hemoglobin count, my blood count, will be low for some months to go. So it will probably be 6 months before I will feel comfortable going to give blood again, which makes it just a little bit worse, because I would have gone to give blood. If I hadn't gone to the plasma thing, I would have gone to give full blood sooner than I will now, because I can't. Because if I go now, my hemoglobin will be too low, and they will say no, and I will take a long time. Even if it was just, it would probably be just at the right level, and then I'd give blood, and then it would take a year to actually recover again. So it's not going to happen. We've made the whole thing. We've done it. We have done it. We've got her surfboard. She never went on her surfboard. I don't remember her surfing in the movie. It's probably the only time you're going to get like a khaki green type Yoda green. Speaking of Yoda green, did I mention the last one? I've got that baby Yoda to make. I don't know when that's going to happen, because that's a big set. What was this thing for? We never did this bit. That goes at the back. There. It's like a little... You can't even see that bit. Oh my gosh. What am I doing? It's that bit there. It's like terrible video. So we're all done. So that's actually quite good. It's good value. They are $1. They have gone up in price by $1, which is... I forgot the flowers too. They go on the top. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, what have I done? I forgot these things as well. My goodness. So many mistakes. So many errors. That one can go there, and that one can go there. So you do get some cool things. You get a little tiny dolphin of a colour that I haven't had before. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've had those dolphins before in a friend set. And you get this little pig, which is quite cool. In fact, quite excitedly, I've been driving 500 kilometres backward, well, 250 backwards and forth to our location for a secret business stuff recently. And the last time I went through forestry land with lots of pine trees planted everywhere, which very regularly planted pine trees. I actually saw some wild pigs in New Zealand, which is an invasive species, but still it's quite neat. They were little black piglets running around doing whatever they do on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere, which is quite cool. So that's something I also did. But we've got to do one more thing, because I got this ages ago. So if you remember, I did most of this series, 10 in fact. That's 10. That's 10. But I missed out on her and one other one. And unfortunately, then I gave up looking. I had still not found any of this person. So I don't think I'm ever going to get her, because obviously she was the most popular. But the other second popular one, I did have more luck with. And I think that's what's in here. But in fact, not only is this one in here, but somewhere out there I've got another one at least, maybe two. Wait, what the heck? This is not what I was thinking. Or is it? It is what I was thinking. Okay, it is something that's very similar to Moana. Is ogre person. Do I have to undo this? We don't have to undo this. We can work this out. They're not on the front cover, but they're the ogre, which is just as good. But they managed to get, I think, at least 2 of these, and a couple more of the brown space person one. So that worked out well. So I actually got really excited. I was like, "Whoa! I found 2 of them. I must be able to find the lady knight person." But no luck. Nope. Couldn't find them. And now I've sort of given up, and I'm pretty sure by now there's no chance whatsoever of obtaining that from the shop. I'd have to buy it online. And I don't want to do that because you're just giving satisfaction to that person who went out there and got them all before everybody else so they can resell them. It's like the last thing you want to do is give satisfaction to a reseller. So ain't going to happen. And I forgot to put the little cape thing on, so that's not so. But it's nice. It's a fabric cape, the best kind of cape. I posted on Reddit about a supermarket where I go to get electric shocks. I don't go to get electric shocks. I go and I get electric shocks off a particular shelf, which I think is an electrical fault. But I wanted to check that I'm not the only person feeling this. And everyone's like, "Oh no, that's static electricity. You know, you wear it from your clothes." It's like, you know, I've been an adult for quite a long time. I know how static electricity works, and I know what happens when you do these things. And it's like, this doesn't happen anywhere except basically here. And this is pretty intense. This is way more than a standard electric shock. You guys aren't being very helpful. And it's like, please don't tell me that it's because I'm wearing wool, because I'm not wearing wool. So just no. The only thing I can think of is maybe it's my raincoat, which is technically made of a nylon, but it's like, you know, Gore-Tex raincoat. Maybe that's, but like I've been wearing those kind of raincoats for years, and this has never been a problem. But, or it might be something to do with a bicycle. Someone said you push a trolley around, you can get shocks. And like, I don't know if I've ever had that, but I'm not pushing a trolley around. So I was going to drive to the location, not wearing a raincoat, and go and touch it and see if that has any effect. But it's so predictable every single time I touch it, and it lasts for quite a while. So I'm like, what are these little brown things for? If I don't have the little picture, I don't know what the brown thing is for. They're the little poops that they had. Maybe they go on the head, because I feel like they went on the head. Because that doesn't really feel, it feels a bit janky putting it there. But I think if you put it on this thing, it looks like they have a bit of brown hair, and they're not so bald. It's quite hard to get their head lined up properly with their teeth. Oh gosh. I think you have to take the whole thing apart and then just move it around. Oh no, I have to hurry. I don't want this to be a long video. Okay, you can't even see, I've got this all rigged up wrong. It's just because I moved the camera, and this is now closer to me, and even though I have this white square so that I know what the camera can see, I'm feeling like this is my normal place, but this is actually where I should be. So just a little bit of practice and we'll get there, and that is it done with the eyes relatively well lined up. So I think we're all happy. They're quite a good little minifigure. You'd probably have to get quite a few of them to be... The problem is that they have that thing on their head, their hair, which makes them seem like they're like the captain of the, you know, the group. They're like the leader, and so getting a whole bunch seems a bit silly. But you never know. So that's what we did today, and she's got her shield. It doesn't work for the lady figs because the arms are like this. Oh well. Thanks for watching. The nice thing is the pig can have sunglasses on their little hole on their head, which is useful. So can the dolphin. They can all wear sunglasses. So I'm glad that Lego is thinking about eye protection, or at least I am. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening. Bye. Wait. Bye.